Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be taking a closer look at how to set up the Python IDE that we're going to be using for this project, Jupyter Notebook. If you already have a different IDE in mind that you use for other programming languages or other programming projects, you are more than welcome to use that. I personally enjoy using Jupyter for Python, especially since we're going to be installing it via Anaconda, which I think is a really cool application that allows you to have a lot of different IDEs, and it just works really well with what we're using. So you do not need to have anything pre-installed for this to work, and this sort of tutorial will cover both macOS and Windows as it sort of follows a general framework. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go to any search engine and type in Anaconda. Now, Anaconda is a very popular program that allows you to run Jupyter Notebook, so we're going to be downloading that. So what we can do is go to Anaconda's webpage, and it should look a little bit similar to you. It might look a little bit different depending on when you actually visit the site, but it'll have some sort of download page. Here we're going to be going to products and going to individual edition. So once that loads, okay, cool. So here you can actually select which sort of computer you're using, Windows, Mac, or Linux. I am personally using macOS, so I'm going to be downloading it for macOS. I think this site actually automatically adjusts this for whatever computer you're using. Now, I highly recommend using the graphical installer, as that allows for a little sort of pop-up menu to come up when you're actually coding and you don't need to run all the commands on your terminal. So this just makes life a little bit easier for us, so I'm going to go ahead and download it. I actually already have it downloaded, but once you download, just follow the instructions that are provided, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so once you've gone and downloaded and installed Anaconda, we can actually run it here. Anaconda Navigator app, right? So we're going to go and run that. So as it's running, it's initializing right now. And this is where that graphical interface really comes in handy, because there you go. You get this sort of pop-up. You should see something similar. And what we're going to be using is something called Jupyter Notebook, which, as it says here, I'll just read it out. Web-based interactive computing notebook environment. Edit and run human-readable docs while describing the data analysis. So Jupyter Notebook is really a fancy IDE because it allows you to sort of write text inside the IDE itself. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. It's not so much commenting, but it really is a very interactive IDE, which I really like. So we can go ahead and launch that as it's working right now, and you can sort of see it's activating your terminal or command line, and it just takes a few seconds to run. So we'll just give it a minute. Okay, cool. So as you can sort of see here, it has now navigated over to our Safari. And what's really important and what's really cool about this is that, Jupyter Notebook does not need an internet connection to run. It actually serves as a local host, as you can see here, for your Jupyter Notebook, which is pretty cool. So here is your Jupyter Notebook, and this is basically where we are going to be running most of our codes through these things called Python kernels. We'll get into a little bit more about that a little bit later, but I highly recommend that you have some sort of folder or some sort of a directory which is dedicated to this, because it just makes everything a little bit easier when you're trying to access CSV files or when you're trying to access Python files. It just makes the whole process a little bit more organized, if you will. So I have something called My Python Stuff, and I highly suggest you have something like that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Jupyter Notebook. And anytime you want to start running these programs, all you need to do is head over to the Anaconda Navigator and click Launch inside the Jupyter Notebook icon right here. It'll open up your terminal and it'll start running Jupyter Notebook. And that is pretty much it. That is all the stuff you need to get started. And if you need any more imports or anything else, you can rest assured that we are going to be covering all of those installations as we move through the program. Very cool, and I'll see you in the next video. Sounds good. Bye, guys.